So now that the New York City election is over, the question is, where are people moving from in the city of New York, and where will they most likely move to? Hello, I'm Harry. Welcome back to RVM, and we're going to talk about where are the most real estate activity in the city of New York when we look at all five boroughs or five counties, and where are they most likely to be relocated over time. So I'm going to share with you some articles and some data that's going to answer that question. And I think this is going to be very interesting what we're going to find here. So stick with me. And also I will share with you some tips as far as what you should do when you're looking for a new home, especially in an entirely different state, in a new area where you may not have any experience in, or you probably have visited from time to time on your vacation, but you definitely want to know how the market is moving in that particular area, especially during this time when you may have such high volume of people migrating into states like Florida. New York City election fears drive $100 million plus dollars in Florida real estate surge as nervous New Yorkers flee south. And so there is no surprise here that a lot of New Yorkers are looking to move down to the state of Florida, especially in the Miami-Dade County area. But one particular broker, CEO Isaac Toledano, essentially says that he's locked down over $100 million in new contracts for housing in the Miami-Dade area. There is a lot of traffic moving down there, and people are looking for greener pastures where taxes are lower, regulations are not as stringent. It's far more cost effective to not only live, but to also run your business. So look for that. There's going to be a lot of this happening. So where in the city of New York are people moving from? And I think the number of new listings is what we're going to look at, because that's going to give us a clue. So Queens County, we're looking at 3.3% of new listings. That's not a whole lot of listings. That's not a whole lot of new listings, okay? And that's to be expected because Queens County actually represent more of the suburban area of the city of New York. That's the area that's obviously much closer to Long Island and also Brooklyn, which is another kind of suburban area, especially the area that touches Queens. Richmond County came in second at 14.6%. So Richmond County has an increase in new listings, okay? 14.6%. That's quite significant. And you don't think it'll get higher than that, but the more you go into New York, the higher you see it, as we see here in New York County, or Manhattan, as we know it. We're looking at 21.3% in new listing counts. And again, these are October number, right? These are October numbers. These are numbers before the mayoral election. So we don't know how these numbers are going to look next month and the next coming months. It could be higher. It could stabilize. We won't know that until then. Now we look at Kings County, or Brooklyn, as we know, is 21.7, almost 22% in new listing counts. So there has been an increase of new listings in Brooklyn. Looking at the median listing price over here at almost $820,000, you're probably looking at that downtown Prospect Heights, maybe Crown Heights area that we're seeing the number of new listings. Not sure, but just looking at that median listing price, that's probably what we're looking at. And then finally, let's look at our final borough in the city of New York, and we have Bronx County, okay? The Bronx at 36% of new listings. No surprise there either, because remember, if you remember my last video, I talked about how so many New Yorkers are moving out of the city of New York and they're looking into the peripheral area, right? Like Westchester County, upstate New York, Boston, Massachusetts, even Connecticut, anywhere where it's close by. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of these folks, they probably still have family in the city. Maybe they're still working in the city. So that's no surprise. But when it comes to those who are migrating from New York City to down to Florida, well, who are they? Well, a lot of those people are probably people that have the option of retiring. We hear of news of New York City cops and firefighters who are retiring and leaving. And so I can surmise that a lot of those folks are probably the ones that's going to be moving down to Florida, but also maybe even companies, right? Mid-sized companies mostly are probably going to look to relocate not their headquarters, only their entire business in other states. So we're looking at that too. But where are most people moving to in the state of Florida? Palm Beach County cities, okay? Real estate agents say. So one real estate agent has had quite a lot of activity. Says here, real estate offices of Sutter and Nugget in North Palm Beach, told WPTV Joe Lopez the Palm Beach County market is getting a surge in demand. No surprise there, really, because if you know anything about the state of Florida, Palm Beach County is almost sits in that sweet spot where you're the furthest away from the hustle and bustle and the over density of Miami-Dade, but you're kind of close by. So the last 2 weeks, he says, been completely a game changer. He said his New York clients have been a mix of seniors, families, residents, and workers whose companies are relocating to South Florida. So that's a big deal there because, we talked about the after effects of the mayoral election in New York City and how a lot of people are moving their businesses and how that's going to have an impact, not only just on the individuals who earn a certain amount of money and are paying the majority of the taxes in the city of New York, but also moving their businesses. Okay. And usually what you have to understand when people move their businesses, they're not just moving a business, right? They're not just moving maybe say a mom and pop shop. If you have a small business, which is, can be up to 100 employees, you're moving potentially tens of employees out of the city of New York into another state, like the state of Florida. It's not only the impact of losing the revenue that comes from that business, but also from all of those employees who earn an income. Remember, one of the main tax revenue that New York City earns is from their local income tax, not just their property taxes. There are a bunch of abatements when it comes to property taxes. That local income tax, they really rely on that. That's one of the reasons why the mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is looking at raising the local income tax, right? Because that's one of their main revenues there. He was asked, where are New York City residents looking to move to? This top broker revealed that the top cities that New York City's clients are targeting include Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Delray Beach, and Boca Raton. He goes on to say we've had directly 2 offers that were stalemated over the summer, that we've had 3 showings Monday and Tuesday and offers today, Wednesday, because of the race directly out of the buyer's mouth. They said they were waiting until Wednesday, and we got the offer this morning, emphasizing that issues surrounding taxes and quality of life are significant motivators for these New York City transplants. So real estate agents would talk to their clients and ask them, hey, what's the problem? Why are you planning on moving? They want to know how serious their potential buyer is. They're telling them, yeah, we're moving because of quality of life and taxes, right? The state of Florida is just one of those states that's big on reducing taxes, reducing regulation. So there's no surprise there as far as why people are motivated to move to the state of Florida. If you look at any of my last videos, you know that Florida has one of the highest inventory of housing, second, I believe, to the state of Texas. That can go just like that. Over 700,000 New Yorkers are moving out of the city of New York. Okay. Now, not all of them are going to Florida. If they did, that would completely wipe out our supply of housing, right? Florida is one of the top areas where New Yorkers are moving to. So he goes on to say that I'm seeing a lot of what I call a Coke bottle effect. Wonder what that is. It says where it's an influx of people and not enough inventory. Some people say inventory is up right now. We were just looking at stats this morning, 56% from year to year, but that inventory is also being scooped up in the last month like that. We're going to see inventory going down, and I don't think we're going to build as fast as we're going to sell this. Goes on to say that after hearing concerns from Boca Raton residents, well, why would Boca Raton residents have any concerns? Boca Raton is a very nice area with so many people going down. It could probably grow too fast for what the services are able to provide. Remember, there are 3 things that make any city or any area, any county, a great place to live, right? Number 1 is public safety. The second thing is infrastructure. Are the roads being maintained? And the third thing is economic development. So he goes on to say that new building projects aren't primarily aimed at incoming residents, but focus on creating space for New York City businesses that have already committed to relocating to the area. A lot of businesses in New York City that are moving down here. A singer calls Boca Raton the economic engine of Palm Beach County, highlighting that it is home to 40 publicly traded companies from industries such as financial services, financial technology, medical technology, AI, quantum computing, manufacturing, and more. New York residents alone have contributed over $9 billion in revenue to South Florida. Just think about that, by the way. With all the promises that new mayor-elect Mamdani is making, New York City has already been losing revenue. and they're about to lose more. And over $9 billion have been attributed to Palm Beach County's economy because of New York City's businesses moving down to the state of Florida. Over 5,000 single family houses available for purchase throughout Palm Beach County. So here's some good advice, by the way. Despite the fervent interest in relocating, Sutter advising, and this is really good advice, potential movers to take their time. Take your time when you're looking for homes. It's very important not to rush into anything. As a real estate appraiser myself, I can't tell you the number of times, especially in those particular times when you've had a lot of people moving to the state of Florida, where I've seen homes being picked up at top bids. Now, obviously, if you're bidding against others, you have to move up. Your real estate professional is going to let you know that that's happening. If you really want that house, you are going to have to move in that direction. As much as inventory is and will be drying up, you still don't want to rush into just anything. If you are retired, then you're looking in an area that you're going to live for possibly the rest of your life, and where it's closer to healthcare facilities. Don't make so many of the mistakes that has been done in the past. Take your time. If you can rent, work with your local real estate professional, get a team around you, not just your real estate agent, but also a real estate appraiser. So that's all for now. If you got something out of this, give me a like, subscribe, share, really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.